welcome back. Here I am again, Dr. Ivy Branin, Naturopathic Doctor in New York City, and I'm so excited to have you back and that we're continuously this topic on getting pregnant in your 40s. And if you haven't yet subscribed, though I keep asking you to, don't hesitate to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I don't want you to miss any of the great content that we're putting out. Also, if you like the video, don't hesitate or be embarrassed. Definitely like it. And always, any kind of comments or questions you have, definitely feel free to put them in the comment section. So, we're continuing our conversation on pregnancy in your 40s, and today I'm going to be presenting or talking about some of my top 5 tips for getting pregnant in your 40s. So if this is the first time that you've been checking out this series, then I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm so excited about this topic, besides the fact that I have helped women in their 40s get pregnant. I myself am a woman in her 40s. I'm 43 years old, and today is the start of my 35th week of pregnancy. And so I'm hoping that some of these tips you'll be able to implement, and these are my 5 top tips for getting pregnant in your 40s. So tip number 1, start early. So if you've watched any of the other videos, I'm trying to really emphasize this, that you really want to be starting a minimum of 4 months prior to getting pregnant, or even better, at least 6 months. And that's exactly what I did as far as implementing the rest of these tips. And the reason that you want to start so early is most of these tips, what we're really trying to do is work on egg quality. And that's really the big differentiator between a woman in her early 20s and 30s versus a woman in her 40s. The big differentiator is egg quality, and we really want to make sure that we're getting started as soon as possible. You know, regardless if you're trying to get pregnant naturally, or maybe you and your partner are going to pursue things like IVF or IUI, highly recommend getting started on any of these recommendations 4 to 6 months prior to starting that process. So start early. Second tip, cut out alcohol. I know it sounds terrible, but definitely staying dry up until, even after conception, obviously, because one does not want to drink during pregnancy, but either dramatically decreasing alcohol or completely eliminate can really improve your chances of getting pregnant naturally, as well as assisting the effectiveness of things like IVF and IUI. So definitely recommend cutting out alcohol. That's what I did. Tip number 3, and a lot of these again are very much we talked about in previous videos, but these are definitely my top tips. So number 3 is reducing, or again eliminating, the use of plastics and some specific chemicals. And so some of these specific chemicals, things like dioxin, BPA, phthalates, and parabens. So these chemicals are all classified under what we call endocrine disruptors or xenoestrogen, and this can have a big impact on fertility, hormones, and egg quality, and specifically also, again, like plastics, specifically the plastics that we use to eat and consume beverages. So if you have a water bottle habit or buying bottled water, want to either stop doing that or switching to brands that carry in glass, or you can even start purifying your own water and using either a metal or a glass water container. If you're getting a lot of takeout, you might want to be more choosy about where you're getting your takeout and the types of containers that they're using to store your food. Also, if you're storing leftovers or bringing things to the office, definitely want to use glass and metal containers. And the main foods that are problematic when it comes to being in contact with plastic are hot foods. Even if you end up eating it cold, if you put it in hot or used it in the microwave to heat up your food. oily foods, so like that they're going to basically leaching some of these chemicals from the plastic that we don't want in our bodies, and acidic foods. So again, really trying to reduce, or in an ideal world, eliminating the use of plastic in some of these household chemicals, also that can also be found in personal care products. Then the next thing I definitely recommend, so tip number 4, is adopting a Mediterranean diet. So the Mediterranean diet, if you are familiar with it, is based on lots of colorful fruits and vegetables, high omega-3 foods like fish and olive oil, and low in processed foods. So it's very rich in fiber, and the reason why a Mediterranean style diet can be beneficial for fertility is, one, it helps with balancing blood sugar, and so without having balanced blood sugar, that can also throw off ovulation. But also the Mediterranean diet is very anti-inflammatory due to the amount of monounsaturated fats and omega-3 fatty acids that one consumes, and it's also very high in antioxidants. And of all the different dietary trends, Mediterranean diet has the most research backing it, in particular actually with fertility. If you want to learn more about the Mediterranean diet, on my website, one, I have a whole blog on nutrition and fertility, so I talk a lot about the Mediterranean diet there, but I also have a blog specifically on the Mediterranean diet. Then lastly, tip number 5 is the addition of egg quality enhancing supplements. And I really specifically, again, if you're a woman in your 40s, maybe even in your late 30s, egg quality is going to be one of the biggest barriers. But the good news is that there's a lot that we can do to help enhance it. And if you watched a previous video of mine where I go all into egg quality, that the big change, yes, of course, aging has an impact because of the way aging has on mitochondria, but a lot of our egg quality is really determined 4 months prior to ovulation, because that's when all the some of our follicles are going to be recruited, and that's where a lot of the damage can be done. So again, there's a lot that we can really do. On my top egg quality enhancing nutrients list, I have ubiquinol, which is a form of CoQ10 that's very bioavailable for women in your 40s. We're looking at dosages anywhere at the low end from 200 to 600 milligrams. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, very good antioxidant, and it's actually a precursor of glutathione, so it's very important for egg quality and ovulation. Resveratrol, derived from our purple and red foods. So those are some of like the main egg quality support supplements. Also, in addition to that, I would also recommend 5-alpha lipoic acid. So those are the big things that you also want to be adding to when you start early, as we recommended in tip number 1. So hopefully that was helpful. And also, if you want more specifics on the brands that I recommend, or the specific dosages and the timing for some of those egg quality supplements, I highly recommend that you create an account with my full script, and we'll have a link specifically to that protocol, that you'll have direct access to in my full script account. And if this is your first order with us, you'll receive 10% off that order. So we'll have a link in the description of this video, where exactly all the supplements that you would need to get started. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it. And of course, you can always shoot us a comment in the comment section. And we're going to be bringing you much more content on pregnancy in your 40s. We're going to actually be starting to talk a little bit about some of the risks associated with pregnancy in your 40s in our next video. And so hopefully you subscribe to the channel so you won't miss it. Anyway, it was great to see you. Again, my name is Dr. Ivy Branin of Simplicity Health Associates. I'm a naturopathic doctor in New York City, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.